Wow, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. The future. It's a topic that always fascinates people. And in this business, there is no shortage of opinion about what lies ahead. While just about everyone can speculate, few are considered true futurists. And among that rare breed, no one is more respected or prolific than Sid Mead. This legendary illustrator and conceptual artist was behind movies like Blade Runner, Aliens, and Tron, and is one of the few who puts images to paper to provide a glimpse into what technology and design may have in store. And his visionary ideas inspired our California design team to dream up the thought-provoking concept you'll see in just a few moments. But before we get to the Telluride, let's talk about the new Kia. After investing heavily in design, manufacturing, R&D over the last 10 years, Kia has transformed into an industry-recognized leader in styling, quality, and advanced technology. And after entering last year as one of Yahoo's hottest brands, we certainly lived up to that billing. 2015 was the most successful year in our history, and our ability to outpace the industry without the benefit of a truck and a truck and a truck in our lineup speaks volumes about how far Kia has come in a very short period of time. But we're not slowing down. There are over 20 all-new or significantly redesigned vehicles headed to our showrooms over the next 5 years. And Kia will continue to grow and mature under the leadership of several key executives who are here with us today. So it is my honor to introduce the Vice Chairman and CEO of Kia Motors Corporation, Mr. Hank Lee. The Vice Chairman of Research and Development for Hyundai Motor Group, Dr. W.C. Yang. The President and Chief Design Officer of Kia Motors Corporation, Mr. Peter Schreier. And the President and CEO of Kia Motors America, Mr. Justin Sohn. Now, I mentioned 2015 was our most successful year, and there are a lot of reasons why. We set an all-time sales record surpassing the 600,000 unit mark for the first time. Optima was our bestseller for the 4th straight year, setting a new single nameplate record in the process. Soul sales increased for the 6th straight year, and deliveries of K900, our luxury sedan, nearly doubled, and will continue to grow with the arrival of a V6 model. And we sold our 6 millionth vehicle since starting in the US in 1994. 6 million vehicles. That's equivalent to selling over 30 cars per hour, 24 hours a day, for 21 straight years. Now, 2015 also saw one third-party group after another validate the world-class quality, dependability, and reliability of our products. According to J.D. Power, Kia is the #2 nameplate in the entire industry for initial quality and #1 amongst the non-premium brands. And if that wasn't enough, Kia also announced an aggressive 5-year, $10 billion plan to expand our green car lineup and improve average fuel economy by 25% by 2020. We'll be talking about our in-depth green car strategy next month in Chicago, where Kia's first ever dedicated hybrid, the Niro, will make its world debut. Now, as you can imagine, it's an exciting time for a company that never stops thinking about the future. And last week at CES, we debuted our DriveWise sub-brand for autonomous driving technologies and previewed an array of cutting-edge features that will find their way into Kia vehicles over the next 15 years. But by 2018, Kia will have invested over $2 billion in autonomous technology. And that's just the beginning as we look to improve the vehicles we make today and feed technology into the vehicles of tomorrow. Now, Kia is bringing new ideas and technologies to every segment we compete in, and you're about to see with the refreshed Forte sedan and the Forte 5. With all the talk about CUVs, you might be surprised to learn that our family of Forte compacts had their best year ever in 2015. We were up 15%, and as the reigning back-to-back touring car A champion and the Pirelli World Champion, the popularity and stature of the Forte line just continues to grow and grow. We've made some visual enhancements and added a host of advanced convenience and driver-assisted features to further Forte's momentum. So ladies and gentlemen, here now on the stage and to the right and left here is the decidedly futuristic 2017 Forte and Forte 5-door. Both the Forte sedan and the 5-door received subtle but noteworthy style changes, with new bumpers and wider grills up front for a more aggressive appearance and family resemblance to the all-new Optima, with new taillights completing the look in the back. And following the Optima's lead, the Forte 5 adds a number of driver assistance features, such as rear cross traffic alert, blind spot detection, and lane change assist. And the sedan over here adds even more, including autonomous emergency braking, front collision warning, dynamic bending lights, and in a first for Kia, lane keep assist. Now, depending on the trim, both the sedan and the 5-door offer UVO 3, the latest version of our award-winning infotainment and telematics system, which is compatible with both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and utilizes a new 7-inch color touchscreen. Now, the top-of-the-line turbocharged version of our European-inspired Forte 5 is now available with a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, while the new Forte S model amps up the sedan's sporty demeanor with a sport-tuned suspension, 16-inch alloy wheels, a rear spoiler, a chrome exhaust tip, and LED positioning lights. And speaking of the sedan, the range-topping EX model delivers class-up features such as leather seating, heated front seats, new 17-inch alloy wheels, and a smart key with perimeter approach lighting and front door pocket lighting. The X sedan will continue to be powered by our 2-liter GDI 4-cylinder engine, while the other two trims come standard with a new 2-liter Atkinson Cycle i4 paired with either a 6-speed manual transmission or an available second-generation 6-speed automatic transmission designed for greater fuel economy. Now, the Forte line is known for being stylish, sporty, and practical, and these enhancements improve each of those qualities. And with the production starting at our new manufacturing plant in Mexico in just a few months, we expect big things for the Forte family in 2016. Okay, so we've taken a look at the immediate future with the refreshed Forte family, and now it's time to look even further out. Sid Mead once said, "The line between total fantasy and futuristic is a thread of reality." And our California design studio took that observation to heart, and those threads of reality led them to a futuristic world that is very bright. So let's look ahead at our aspirations and inspirations with the world debut of the Kia Telluride concept.
It is paramount that car designers set themselves in the future.
We've got to always be thinking what the next trend is.
In terms of looking at futurism and what the future could hold, Sid Mead was probably the biggest influence.
I was lucky enough to meet him when I was in college, actually. I remember going back to my dorm room and just sketching a bunch of stuff that I just really felt excited about.
Working on a far-reaching concept is a lot of fun, but I always appreciate some of the challenges with something that's maybe a little bit more rooted in reality as well.
When we started to design Telluride, it was about creating a premium SUV, bigger than any of the vehicles we currently offer.
The way we approached the exterior definitely allowed for a lot of interior volume. The interior designers took that and ran with it.
For the Telluride's interior, we wanted to emphasize business class luxury airline seating.
We decided to go with an all-black interior. I think it brings out that technology.
There's smart fabric in the seat back of the seats. This fabric will actually read your vitals and display them on the screen next to you in the doors. We have this technology called LER, a panel in the overhead console that kind of simulates sunlight and actually help you recalibrate. You get in and you feel like your own little private utopia where you're also very in control.
As designers, we're living in the future every day. Telluride brings that future to life in a big way.
Welcome Chief Designer of Kia Design Center America, Tom Kearns.
Thank you. Good afternoon. You know, for generations, people have tried to predict what the future will look like. But at our studio, we're not interested in predicting the future. We want to create it. And in that process, redefine the relationship between man and machine. And that is the galvanizing idea behind the Telluride concept, which hints at a future that is grounded in reality, but not bound by the present. So let's begin with the basics. The Telluride is a full-size, 3-row, 7-passenger luxury SUV that will transport its occupants from urban neighborhoods to upscale ski resorts with ease. It has a lot of attitude with a menacing front fascia that supersizes Kia's signature grille. Recessed quad LED headlamps, pronounced horizontal LED indicator lights, and an aggressive polished metal skid plate below the bumper. Every exterior detail ties together the styling of the door handles, the hood scoops, and even the dual exhaust tip patterns, all the same similar shape and size. Longer, wider, decidedly more upright than the Sorento, Telluride envisions how a full-size Kia SUV would look. But the real story is what's going on inside the incredibly spacious cabin. That's where we've made the biggest leaps forward in terms of futuristic technology and ergonomic sophistication. In fact, the Telluride name itself reflects the harmony that can be achieved between the man, machine, and nature. 4 black leather captain seats appear to float in the expansive cabin in front of a 3rd-row bench. And take a look at that 2nd row. It has the seats that recline nearly flat with large fold-away footrests providing sublime comfort. Settle into this sanctuary and you will be surrounded by some of the most advanced features ever imagined for a passenger vehicle. Diamond-cut openings in the seatback are embedded with smart sensors to capture vital health information, which is then displayed on door panel screens. The health information synchronizes with light-emitting rejuvenation system, which is the large wing-shaped LED panel mounted beneath the oversized sunroof. And that emits a pattern of therapeutic light to treat jet lag and improve energy levels. Another unique technology is Swipe Command, which allows the rear seat passenger to scroll through and select media with the swipe of their hand across a thin, touch-sensitive band mounted to the center console. Other features include wireless smartphone charging and Kia's first use of 3D printed components on the dash, door panels, and steering wheel. A fingerprint-activated push-button start unleashes Telluride's advanced 3.5-liter V6, which is the powerful heart and no-compromise plug-in hybrid drivetrain. And the power is routed through all 4 wheels via an advanced all-wheel drive system. Now put it all together and you have a total combined output of 400 horsepower. Though the Telluride is only a concept, it embodies the DriveWise philosophy and previews what future Kia vehicles will aspire to: the seamless integration of human-focused features enabled by breakthrough technology. This vehicle is neither science fiction nor fantasy. It is a near-future look at what the relationship between vehicle and occupants could become. And when you come on up for a closer look, I'd encourage you to really explore the interior.
All right, great job, Tom. Great job to you and your team. And like Sid Mead said, there is no question your team is passionate about the future. And another fantastic job. Telluride is just one example of what Kia is doing today to bring the most forward-thinking solutions to our customers of tomorrow. And although it is purely conceptual right now, if you followed us closely over the years, you know that Kia has a history of bringing concept cars to life. So you can bet we will be closely monitoring the response to this beautiful vehicle here. With that, we thank you for coming and look forward to seeing many of you in Chicago. Now we invite you to come on up and take a closer look at the Telluride and the refreshed Fortes. Have a great day.
And we're back here with Autoblog's Jeremy Korzanuski. Jeremy, what do you think? What's going on here? What are we looking at?
Well, I mean, Kia started out with the Forte sedan and the Forte 5, but those are pretty small refreshes. The big news is the Telluride. I think it sounded like Kia would like us to forget that they've attempted this in the past with a full body-on-frame, 3-row SUV. It never really did well, the Borrego. Now they're going at it with a different, from a different angle, basing it on their popular Sorento crossover. So they're ditching the body-on-frame, the heavy truck-like chassis, going with more of a car-like crossover, which is like, that's what's selling right now. That's what everybody wants.
Which is interesting because something like that, you look at a full size, and that's probably maybe, let's say at best, a year, 2 years, 3 years away. By that time, are we going to be over our SUV obsession?
Yeah, and that's a great question. I think they're hedging their bets a little bit.
Yeah.
They're calling this a hybrid. So it's got the 270 horse engine that we're familiar with, an extra 130 horsepower electric. So 400 total horsepower, and they're saying 30 miles per gallon on the highway.
Wow.
I mean, if they really can hit those kinds of things with a big, bulky, bold-looking vehicle like this, I think even a few years from now, that's still something that American buyers are probably going to want.
That is possible.
I've got to say I'm a bit of a fan of the look. Over the last few years with that front grille, especially with the what came out when I started to take notice of that grille was when the Optima came out, and they've applied that across the Forte and then obviously in the Telluride as well. I think it's a look that's grown on me, and I think grown on a lot of people as well.
Yeah, no, I think so too, and it's become a calling card for Kia. They call it their tiger nose grille, and anytime that you can take something, a successful styling feature from, like you say, the Optima, and move it across the line so that when people see it, they see it coming, they think, oh, that's the new Kia. That's what they're going for.
That is an issue. I mean, a lot of these cars that we see, they're looking very similar. It's hard to tell what is what. So it's nice. I like the idea that I don't want to say lower end models, but a Kia, this nice technology, this melding of looks, are making these cars, bringing them up, where I feel like the luxury brands are kind of plateauing where they are with these styles that are kind of similar.
Yeah, we saw that a little bit today even with the Mercedes. You see the E-Class, it's clearly a slightly larger C-Class. You see something like this Telluride, you look at it, and because of the similar elements like the grille, it's a Kia, but it's so bold when compared to their other designs. I think they really hit a home run with this.
How do you feel about this? We're talking about wearables and getting these stuff into the vehicles. Obviously we're talking about the future here, but the car reading your vitals. Do you think it's smarter for Kia to insert that stuff into the vehicle itself, whereas the other bigger companies are saying, you know what, we'll partner with a third party and we'll use that technology? Is it smarter for these guys to just say, let's make our own?
That's a tough question. I think we're seeing a little bit of a change right now because all the car companies have been really into technology and infotainment. They've all been going their own way. More recently, they're switching with Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, so they're allowing Silicon Valley back into their cars. I would imagine that it's eventually the companies that are really good at technology are the ones that are going to make the best technology in our cars. We're going to see a lot more Apple CarPlay, Android Auto-esque technology in our vehicles. Kia, I think it's cool what they're trying to do. It's clearly very concept-y, but the idea of giving backseat passengers like something extra, the reclining seats, the kind of personal jet cockpit style, I think it's cool. I'd be very surprised to see something like that really make it into production.
Yeah.
But it's cool.
It seems like they're investing an awful amount of money into research and development. Obviously, like they mentioned, the $10 billion into the green tech, autonomous tech, as is a bit of a theme this year. I mean, nearly all of the automakers are focused on autonomous tech. Do you think Kia has what it takes to be able to create some really good leaps forward in that area?
I think definitely. Kia, when they came to the United States, they were known as the value brand. I think it's kind of it's old to think of them that way. Really, their vehicles nowadays, starting with the Optima that you mentioned earlier, they're every bit as good as the competitors that they have. So I wouldn't put anything past Kia and Hyundai, their parent company. Massive, huge reach from those companies. South Korea is just as good with their technology as anybody else is. So, I mean, I guess more to come from them, and I'm sure they'll be able to do a good job.
Is that something you see? I mean, we talked about this before, but like the idea of this technology stuff, is it reasonable to think that these companies are able to keep up with tech in the way that, like we say, our cell phone is it's obsolete next year? We can't just throw the key away. Are they able to keep up with this kind of thing?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think we're in a transition point. The answer is that no one really knows. They've tried up to this point. Ford just dumped huge amounts of money in their infotainment systems. And now, like, everybody wants Apple and Google in their cars. So, yeah, I mean, technology it's such a tipping point right now. We basically have a whole second brain in our pockets at all times. It makes a lot of sense to integrate those things that everyone carries with them into the vehicle, more so than it does to try to pack these new things into the car that's not compatible with the smartphones that we're carrying every day.
I think it's very, very hard because obviously with our telecommunications devices, we've got an update cycle of less than 2 years. So you're buying a car, this massive purchase that you want to hold on to for a long time, and I feel like the automakers are continually playing catch up. So by like you say, integrating the features that we get with our smartphones rather than trying to create them themselves is probably going to be a little bit more advantageous.
Let someone else take care of that and then just integrate it if you can.
As
opposed to that. It's interesting. Well, obviously there's a lot of interesting stuff to come, whether it's autonomous cars or the new technology that we see inside. But we'll see. We're in a weird point right now, I feel like.
You've got examples in the auto industry with like Tesla. To keep their cars relevant, they have over-the-air updates. So one day you wake up and your car can do something that it couldn't do the day before.
They got some top speed out of it recently.
It's amazing what they're able to do.
It's amazing.